Ni howdy y'all, EBO2 is out in the sim, which means Alto has to test out his Blackbeard against the new BDIF, Green Purple Luffy. Make sure to join us in our 1,000 follower celebration stream on TikTok on Friday to possibly win an OP10 booster box and a bunch of fun prizes. Until then, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're sticking to Blackbeard in OP10.5.
All right, everybody, we are here. We finally have EBO2 in the sim, which means that the new BDIF, the best deck in format, is here. And this is my honest opinion. This green purple Luffy is probably the strongest deck that has come out, at least right now, in the meta. It does really well into a bunch of different decks, so a lot of swarm decks can't keep up just because of the fact that they're able to attack in with this Monkey D. Luffy by gaining rush. Of course, any sort of purple deck is going to run this Gum Gum Giant, which, as we all know by now, is probably the strongest card in the game. So being able to run this card along with this card, along with this card, this Sanji and Pudding, this card is super strong. So just the stat line in itself, 5-7, is already a great place to be. But in tandem with Green Purple Luffy's leader ability, and then the once per turn ability with Sanji and Pudding, it is a huge problem. I know that this variation is probably not the most played one. This is kind of the one that I'm currently running, but with that being said, I've seen some people run Electric Luna, so electric, let's see, in green. This card, which can rest a bunch of cards, which it spells a bunch of trouble for Blackbeard. So especially if you're relying on Burgess at endgame to, swing in, bring them down low. If you swung the turn before, you kind of fall into this trap of Electric Luna, which can make it so that the rested character doesn't become active. Actually insane. And even if you have multiple out, it rests all your opponents. I mean, it makes sure that all your opponent's characters cannot become active next refresh phase, which is super tough. But yeah, so we're going to be going in as Blackbeard, and honestly, the Blackbeard matchup is not the most favorable. I did play 3 matches. I played 5 matches total today. I did lose 1. I lost because of the fact that they got this fucking Monkey D. Luffy out and started swinging in like crazy along with their Sanji and Pudding. But I did learn a couple things. So let's go ahead and go over our Blackbeard deck and just kind of how we want to play around it, right? So a lot of time on their first on turn, they're going to be playing things out like their Searcher Nami, which kind of fills up board, plays into our favor, because of the fact that on their 5 dawn turn, if they have multiple out, we're going to be on our 6 dawn turn. We could go ahead and use our liberation. So usually what happens is that they will play out their Nami Searcher in the beginning, and then later in the game, when they do have the ability to use their Sanji and Pudding, they'll have 4 dawn extra, and they'll usually put out a Zojuro. So that would be a 5 cost and a 4 cost out all on one turn. But they have 3 characters on board, which plays right into our liberation. So the great thing about liberation is that I know that a lot of Green Purple Luffys tend to run the stage. So the stage adds an additional 2 costs to a given character. But luckily, liberation is based off of the original cost of the character. So with Sanji and Pudding being a 5 cost, and then with Zojuro being a 4 cost, we could get rid of both of them, kind of leveling out the playing field. So a lot of times, even if I have the opportunity to get rid of that Nami, I usually don't, just because I want them to play into this card. So I honestly think that this card is pretty pivotal in terms of the matchup against Green Purple Luffy. I know a lot of people have been removing this from their decks. The only problem is that a lot of people are running the 5 million. I bid 5 million in black. And it is a strong card. Let's see. I bid 5 million, but keep in mind that when they use the Sanji inputting, a lot of times it's going to end up putting their character at 7 cost, so we won't be able to bounce things back. And yes, we can bounce back a Zojuro, but it isn't the best option because of the fact that it does provide them with the search, and they essentially get it for free because of leader ability plus Sanji inputting. So yeah, obviously something to keep in mind. Usually in the matchup, I tend to go first just because of the fact that I don't want to see that Sanji inputting on curve. At that point, I would like to have something kind of established. So seeing our Burgesses and being able to pump them up early is a really good idea. You know, putting out things like Luffy as well is pretty good because it kind of mitigates or it kind of works as a pseudo blocker. What else? Things like Doc Q I tend to put out as well, especially if I don't really have too many plays, just because of the fact that like if we do come down to it, and we could put out something like a Van Augur, lowering cost, and then popping things like Zojuro. So pretty good. Honestly, the green-purple Luffy deck does run a couple of different things to kind of get their Dawn ramping kind of early. So if we can get rid of those, especially a lot of them tend to be when attacking type skills. So yeah, if we have the opportunity, let's go ahead and get rid of those. Yeah, so that's what we're currently running. Let's go ahead and get into 2 of the matches I got done today. But yeah, feel free to leave anything in the comments, whether it be questions, concerns, or let me know how you guys think Blackbeard does in this matchup. I honestly think it's a bit of a losing matchup, but with that being said, it is still winnable. We just have to be really cognizant of how we use our Dawn, and then also how we're cycling through our deck and what we're looking for. But yeah, see you in the matches, y'all. Alright, we are going against the purple Luffy. Well, the green purple Luffy. We'll go ahead and keep this hand. We're going to be going second. I think that Kuzan's going to be pretty good in this matchup. So if you guys don't know, this leader is super strong. Honestly, pretty close to probably the best deck in format. But I think Blackbeard does a pretty decent job of battling back. So we're going to see how we do. Go ahead and grab Blackbeard. We're going to need him later. And we'll go ahead and end turn there. So we did a bit of searching there. Honestly, we don't have too much in terms of counteracting here. We'll go ahead and resolve this one. And we'll probably counter out of this one. Alright. Cool. So let's do this. We'll attack in 5. See if they counter out. They take. We'll go ahead and play out our Luffy. Do a search. We'll grab. Oh, my dog's popping off, dude. We'll grab a Shiryu. We'll go ahead and play this out. Pop this. Trash one. We'll grab ourselves Blackbeard, turn cards, and we will end turn there. Most likely what we're going to see next turn is we're going to see that really annoying Sanji pudding. Let's see. We're down to 3 life, but if they get the Sanji pudding, return Dawn, they're going to put their leader at 6, which is going to be hella annoying. Okay, they play out the Zoro instead. We'll go ahead and resolve that one. And we'll resolve that as well. Alright, so we're in a pretty decent spot. They didn't get too crazy on us. We'll go ahead and recycle here. We'll grab this. This might be useful later. We will go ahead and attack here. we'll play out our Kuzan. We'll end turn there. We don't need to use leader ability since Kuzan's pretty sticky. We're gonna cut out of this one. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but that's fine. Then we're gonna most likely eat this one. That's fine. Resolve it. We'll use sugar.
Nice.
Pretty lucky, if I do say so myself. All right. So we could technically get rid of this entire board if we wanted to go down that route. To be fair though, our trash is pretty high, so that might be the route, to be honest. Let's go ahead and attack 5 here. Let's see. Deploy here. We could do a double and KO this guy, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we do this. Let's go and pop. Play a Burgess.
Oh, Lordy Jesus.
We could attack in 8 here. Let's see, do we have a Burgess on field? No. Attack here. 8. They take. Grab a 2K.
Oh, Lordy Jesus.
And we'll discard 1 for turn. I'm honestly thinking that this is probably going to be the move. Yeah. They have 6 on. Not terrible. If they do want to go wide here, then we could probably get rid of some stuff for and KO some characters, but honestly, Blackbeard is probably going to be the move. Okay, they play out the Luffy. Counter out of 1 here. See if they toss on the Dawn. 7, we'll give it 2 and a 1. Let's see if they end up using the leader ability. No, they do not. Okay, that's fine. I think that the move is still this. We'll probably do this first, though. Grab ourselves a 2K. We're just 1 out, so we'll probably trash here. Question is, do we want to try our best to draw out the gums from leader? Probably. Sack 1 more. And we'll go ahead and enter in there. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. Should be able to end next turn. Unless they want to swing high into our Blackbeard, which is a possibility, and then play up some blockers. Okay, they played the Luna. double freeze. They're attacking the 7. Should probably resolve this one. We'll use trigger. We'll grab this. 8. We'll go ahead and resolve. I'm gonna play out the blocker as expected. Okay. So we'll go ahead and this guy. We got 1 up. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll attack the 11 first. Expecting to see a Gum Gum here. And then the 12. Hopefully they don't have like all 2Ks. Alright, GG. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they weren't able to get out the Sanjin puddings as expected on their 5-dawn turn, which probably slowed them down just a little bit. But with that being said, they were able to kind of attack in multiple times with this Luffy. So we gotta really be looking out for this Luffy on their 6-dawn turn. I mean, 6 and 7 is just such a good stat line, just because of the fact that they could attack him twice, and blocking for 2 7s is just not the easiest task. Yeah, I don't see too much of this Luffy Taro played in the deck, just because it tends to be pretty tight, this deck list. But yeah, overall GG. Let's go on to the next. Okay, we are going against another purple Luffy. Green purple Luffy. Let's see how we do. Let's mulligan that hand. It looks terrible. We'll go ahead and play this out in our turn. Alright, to play out the Nami. See what they grab. Of course, the classic, the Sanjin pudding. We'll go ahead and do a peek. Let's go ahead and grab another one. We'll attack 5. We take. Let's go ahead and play this out. We'll grab another one. We'll grab a 2K. Yikes. And we'll end turn there. We'll resolve that one. Resolve. Alright, they play out. Okay. So since we have 2 of these, this is not my favorite move. Let's do that. Attack 6. Okay, they counter out. So they have the Sanjin pudding next. Let's go ahead and trash 1. We'll end turn. There it is, the Sanjin pudding. Let's see if they use their ability or their stage. We'll resolve that one, and we'll resolve that one. Oh, okay, we got some options now. So first, let's do this. We'll grab you because we're gonna need you. We'll go ahead and grab a Van Augie. Nah, it's probably better. Yeah, I guess Van Auger's fine here. We'll go ahead and do this. Alright, we will trash 1 here. I'm a little bit worried about the Luffy, 6-cost Luffy. Alright, they play out a Frankie. And the 1-cost Nami blocker. This one we won't take. And then 7 here. We'll resolve that one. Okay. So I think first we'll do this. I think, let's see, we have 7. Deploy here. We'll attack 7 here. We'll grab, I mean, we're going to be using, I don't think it's actually that prevalent that we use leader ability here, if I'm going to be completely honest. But it is getting a little
Oh, Lordy
down to the
Jesus.
wire. So let's see, we're at 14. To leader ability or not leader ability? Right now their board's not too threatening. If they attack in, then we could just swing in next turn. We are going to be a little greedy here. Let's see. Let's enter in there. If we see a 6 cost Luffy here, we might be in trouble, but okay, Sanji pudding. Let's see what they play out. Okay, they're just going in. We'll resolve that one. All right. See if they take it. All right. The question is, should we try and save this? They're getting pretty low on hand size though, so I think that attacking, let's see. If they get Luffy, then we might be a little screwed. Let's see. But if we bring him down to here, then I think we have to attack in here. I don't think obviously they're gonna save. And we'll go ahead and intern there. There he is. Okay, we made the right choice. Seven will give 2 and a 1. We gotta be careful about what we use here. We'll resolve it. And we will block this one. Alright. So, they leave one up. Let's do an 11. Let's see. Okay, we're only 1 card out. Let's first do this. We'll grab this. 20. Let's get up to 24. We have to go for game here. So this at 11 now. Let's go ahead and attack in. Okay. We should be able to get the 12. Unless those are like all 2Ks, which even then... Well, they're taking longer than I would like, that's for sure. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and swing that 15. All right, there it is. Oh, close one. Yeah, so that was a bit of a scarier game. They did have the option to play the Sanji Pudding, and then also we saw the 6-cost Luffy swinging in twice. So yeah, overall, I think we did a pretty good job of trying to mitigate as much stuff as we could early on. We weren't seeing a lot of the pieces that we needed to kind of build a strong early game, but overall, we ended up in the right spot, getting out our Burgesses, and then also stopping the Sanji and Pudding with our Marshall D teach. Yeah, but GG, y'all.